Welcome to the Christie Taylor Show. Super excited to have you all here for an amazing show. Now, this will be the first time I will have two guests. Oh, this is going to be interesting. And they're both here talking about matchmaking. I guess this must be the year for me to fall in love and find somebody because I tell you, if I get one more guest trying to match make, or should I say match me with somebody playing Cupid, but this is going to be an amazing show. And I'm super excited to have to the television show a young lady that I had a chance to do a Let's Go Live. And let me tell you all about her. Kimberly McGowan is a certified matchmaker who has been token the badass Maven Matchmaker. She is a student of Somatica training, which is a form of sex coaching. Kimberly has appeared on local Milwaukee radio stations, featured in Journal Sentinel, USA Today, and has appeared as a panelist at the Essence Festival, speaking on relationships and entrepreneurship, as well as she has co-authored several books that empower and uplift women. So I got to bring them to the show. Let me make sure I Sheneeka as I also share about her. Sheneeka is an amazing matchmaker as well, certified matchmaker and a law of attraction coach with a background in behavioral sciences. Sheneeka McCray definitely has an advantage in the matchmaking world. She is a New Yorker, so everything is fast. Clients want to know that you're not going to waste their time or money, and that's what she does. She delivers love, happiness, and wealth all come in abundance when you use the universal laws of attraction. When a client buys into this philosophy wholeheartedly, Sheneeka says they get the best results for them. Ask, believe, receive. So we're talking about not only love, but making that perfect match. And I'm going to lead with you, Kimberly. First of all, welcome to the Christie Taylor Show. I know we had a chance to do a Let's Go Live, and here we are back again, and you brought a guest and a friend, a fellow with you. And Kimberly, I just want to say, first of all, I do know you two ladies are super busy. Sheneeka, as a matter of fact, of course, she has some amazing things that are happening. But Kimberly, give us a quick background about yourself. You'll do the same.
So thank you again. The first time was a blast, and so I'm excited to be back again. So thank you for having me. So I'm a matchmaker of 5 years, and I've had the pleasure of matching executives all up to celebrities. And I've been married myself for over 20 something years. So marriage isn't easy. And so when you are matching people, you got to know, listen, you in it for the long haul because it's not easy, right? I always say marriage ain't for punks. So, and neither is a long-term relationship, right? So, yeah, I've been doing this for 5 years, been married for 20, a lot of personal experience, a lot of training has gone into my craft. And I definitely believe there's someone for everybody. So you don't have to be alone. If you choose to be alone, that's another thing. But you don't have to be alone. And that's my philosophy.
Well, that's a philosophy to have indeed. And Sheneeka McCray, you have an amazing approach to this as well. A very interesting background. Let's talk about how you got into it and some of the things that you have going on.
Oh, sometimes I hate to talk about how I got into it because it was so tumultuous. But I got into matchmaking because I had a really bad breakup. And I think that it was a time for God to deal with me. So fast forward these years, much later, now I see what he was doing with me. He was softening me up. Sometimes when you're, depending on the type of work you do, you can be very strong, very masculine in your energy. And he really broke it down for me in a way that I'm able to communicate it and teach other women now. I've gotten into law of attraction. So one of my the biggest things is I always get what I want. And by the time I'm done speaking to clients, they believe that they're always going to get what they want. And not even clients, because Kim knows when we're on the phone doing our business, I am the one with my finger up in the air. And I'm like, we're going to do this and we're going to get what we want. And I don't want to hear nothing else. So that really is my approach. Establish what it is that you want in a relationship and money or whatever it is you have your heart set on, and go after it and it will show up.
Wow, that's a powerful approach to life and loving. I love the fact that you're applying that to finding true love. Now, you two ladies, I'm just going to pretty much give you a chance to bounce between the two to find out what you have going on. What is the state of Black love and how you're approaching it?
So Kim and I are coming together along with a couple of other matchmakers, two other matchmakers, to do something I coined as a net wealth intimate dinner event. So I'm an elite matchmaker in addition to being law of attraction. That's my coaching and that's my style. So all of my clients, they typically make, a six figures, college educated, attractive, and African American is who I primarily work with. So we came up with an idea. Well, I came up with an idea, and then I kind of tell it to them, and then I sit back and see what they're going to do with it. And Kim always kind of supports me. So she jumped on it. She was like, okay, you want to do Miami, you want to do Dallas. I'm down. I'm with it. So we're getting ready to start promoting our network event. The first event will be in Miami on June 25th. Very intimate group of people. We may have some special people there, celebrities possibly. So we have a lot going on in the mix, and this just gives some of the most elite clientele in singles an opportunity to come together where they may not have access to certain types of people and really possibly find someone you match well with. And behind the scenes, we're doing screenings, so it's not just something anyone can come to. We're combing through, making sure that there's an even number of men and women and the ages and all that other stuff, so that you have a high probability of finding someone.
Now, is this, Kimberly, one of the things that we talked about previously, that singles, Black professional singles, is it that oftentimes we're so busy, we just don't have time to find someone?
Absolutely. When you are a professional, time is money, right? So that's the philosophy on that. But I want to say with Sheneeka that collaboration is key when you're trying to be successful and when you're trying to make a partnership. So I want to thank her for inviting me on to her idea to do this. I love working and collaborating with other matchmakers, so I do appreciate her extending her hand for me to be a part of this. And it's important to understand that, it's not, if you find love at this event, that's the goal, right? But you can also get other things out of this event too. This is a networking event. So whether you make a love connection, you may get some knowledge about some financial things that may help improve your situation. We're going to have panelists of experts, other areas that's going to be talking and pouring into us. So this is going to be a phenomenal event. And so for those people who are listening right now, it's a limited amount of time. There's only 20 slots available. So there's like 4 matchmakers. Is it 4 of us, Sheneeka, that's promoting this?
There are 4 of us. There are 4 of us.
4 of
and
us.
It's easy to fill those spots.
So between the 4 of us, exactly, that's what I have to say. It's so easy to fill those slots up. So I just want to let people know it's 20 slots. So if it's something that you think that you can grab your friends and experience this event, definitely do it because the tickets are going to last. But to your point, absolutely. When we are working out here and we're grinding, time is money. And so we don't want to waste people's time. We want to put them in a place where there's opportunity. And so that's exactly what we're doing.
Now, Sheneeka, when is the event and how can people actually get involved? Is there a website, social media platform?
So yeah, we're gonna start doing more things collaboratively. Kimberly is suggesting we do Clubhouse, but right now we're promoting individually. So if you go to my website, thehelpmeclub.com, on the events page, you can actually submit your information, and we'll start the process of screening you, vetting you, and preparing you to be, admitted into the event.
Mm-hmm. Anything you want to add to that, Kimberly?
I was going to say, same here. To find out more information about it, you can go to my website, go into my events page, and you'll be able to fill out an application there. Also, on my social media, there's going to be flyers that's going to be also promoting the event. So look out for that. That's going to be coming in the next day or two. So we definitely want to say the word so that people have the opportunity to sign up.
That's
right.
Awesome.
And a lot of my guests are coming from in-house already. So if it's something you're interested in, please just submit your information. We're not going to charge you anything for submitting your information. Just put yourself in there so that I can see you. And if I think you're a great, mix for the mix, then I'm going to call you, definitely.
Now let's talk about that, because selection is important, or vetting is important. How do you both approach that, both in your boutique business as well as for this event?
So I use basic criteria, whatever you put on your form. And then I'm going to follow up with you and have, just like this, a video screening, to make sure you are who you say you are. We may even be doing background checks on the people that are showing up, confirming that you actually work where you work and make the money you say you make.
And what's your approach to that, Kimberly?
So for me, the same approach is, whether it's an event or not, for me, it's the same. So we do, if you're in the state that I'm in, or if I'm in the state that we actually try to do a face-to-face, but we know with COVID, it's more challenging to do that. So we do a Zoom and we conversate for about an hour. I ask you a series of questions. People tell you a lot when they start talking. Mm-hmm. So it's more of a conversational piece that I get to ask those questions and really kind of get an idea as to who you are, what it is you're truly looking for, and if I'm able to help you in that. In addition to that, we do a background check, 100%, just to make sure, number one, that the people who are being matched are, your safety is my number one priority, right? So we do that as well. And I'm going to look on your Facebook page. I'm going to look on your Instagram. I'm going to look and see who you are and what you're all about. So that's all a part of the vetting process. We want to make sure that your reputation, as a business owner, is really important. So you want to make sure that the people who you are along with actually truly looking for, those pieces play a part in that process.
Indeed. I know that, this is going to be a very interesting event, and I would love for the ladies to, and the gentlemen who are watching, to really trust, certified matchmaking. For some people, you're still online dating, but to take it up a notch to where you're actually investing in a certified matchmaker really will help with that vetting process and a higher quality selection pool. We're going to be right back after this. Welcome back to the Christie Taylor Show. And I am so really excited to, first of all, be exposed to two certified matchmakers who are, as Kimberly McGowan is called, a badass maven of matchmaking. When it comes to this, being Black and female in this marketplace, where do you find your strength? Because we know that this tends to be a more dominant culture process, but where are you finding your strength as matchmakers?
So for me, it's so interesting, and I literally just put something on Facebook, and I said, I don't do consultations, I do conversations. When I speak to you, like sometimes I'm relaxed, clients are like, well, should I get dressed up for the Zoom? And I'm like, look, if you don't get dressed up, I won't get dressed up, because the bottom line is I'm focused on you and what it is that you want, and not how you look so much at the moment, right? I want to get your personality. So I think that my strength is really connecting with women, African-American women, and men as well. Once you understand personalities, I can feel people's energy. That's why I don't do a lot of coaching a lot, because it'll make me physically sick. I absorb the good and I absorb the bad. But then I call you out and I tell you that's not what you really want. You're not being really honest. So I bring forth to you the things that you need to see to get what you need to get. And I work on you from figuring out what is the root of your fruit that's showing up in your life right now.
I love that. Kimberly, what about you? What are your strengths as a certified matchmaker?
Well, I think when it comes to Black matchmaking, in this industry, I think we have been overlooked. And I think now is our time. What's happening right now is that we are, as you can see with me and Sheneeka, we are coming together as a force to let people know we are here. And a lot of times when people think of matchmakers, they don't think of Black women. And so we're changing the narrative of what it means when you think of a matchmaker. And so for me, what I bring to the table is, listen, I bring a piece of understanding, I bring a piece of empathy, right? Because we are not all, but we all try to put this image of perfection out there.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, you don't have to be perfect. And that's okay. Because the person that's for you, they're not perfect either. So you have to understand that being who you are, being authentic, is really going to help you live the best life possible. And that's what I tell people. Be your authentic self. You know, there's your superpower is that you are you, because there's no duplicates out there. You can't duplicate that, right?
I love it. That's powerful. That's powerful both in a professional setting as well as a professional. Oh, wait a minute, Shaneeka. Is Cupid calling?
It's I have to go. I'm enjoying this so much. I don't want to go, but I have a 6 p.m. client. So I'm gonna have to excuse myself and thank you so much for inviting me. I hope to be able to come back again and speak more about everything we have going on.
All right. Well, we definitely want to make sure that you help that person match up with their perfect mate. And Sheneeka McCray, you're welcome to the Christie Taylor Show anytime. So as she goes off to play Cupid, guess what we're going to do? It's me and Miss Kimberly. We're going to continue on with our discussion. And let me tell you something. You have been able to not only create an amazing network for yourself, but you're also expanding that, as you say, bringing in other matchmakers. What was behind, first of all, just not the event, but the need to collaborate with other matchmakers?
So for me, listen, collaboration is so important. It's huge. But if I see that we're not being represented, what better to represent us than to get a group of us? We're here. It's not just me. You know, we're a force. And so there's so many wonderful African American matchmakers, women of color, who are here to fill this space. And oftentimes, like I said before, when you think about a matchmaker, you don't think about women of color. And we're here to just service like everyone else, but more specifically our community who's been underserviced in this area. We're here to say it's okay for you to hire a matchmaker. We hire people for fitness. We hire people for like, you know, mental health therapists. It's okay to hire a matchmaker. There's nothing wrong if you need some assistance in the area of love. You know, and I think there's a stigma that's tied to that we need to tear that down and allow people to say, hey, you know what, I do need some help, and not feel judged for that, because again, that's a, you know. So I'm hoping that by us actually representing this group and showing that we're out here, that we have more people who are willing to relax in that area and more people who are willing to reach out because they see people who are like them in this industry.
Well, Kimberly, it's interesting that you pointed out that taking away the stigma, you know, we have been making progression with, you know, the fact that we may need someone to assist us in housekeeping because we're so busy, or we need mental health, you know, support. And to have a relationship coach, counselor, certified matchmaker to help you with one of the biggest decisions of your life, I think is something that we can elevate as we're doing in this conversation. Now, I have a question. You both have spoken to your, I guess you say you're targeting Black women. What are some of what you've observed in your profession are some of unique issues we face when it comes to finding love or a perfect match?
Well, one of the challenges that I see in our community is that we've been single for so long that we're so used to doing things on our own that it's so hard for us to allow a man to be a man. It's so hard to allow a man to to pursue us. We get this tough exterior, and it's challenging to break that down. Like, we put up those walls because we've been by ourselves for so long, doing everything for ourselves for so long, that it's like, how do I, allow myself to have someone come into that space? And so that's what I'm finding to be the most challenging. But, I say this, you don't have to rush into it, right? If you're building it brick by brick, just like you have the conversations with your girlfriends, it's okay to have those same conversations with your male counterparts. And it's okay to be like, you know what, I'm having a tough time with this. Because what you're doing is you're letting him know where you're coming from. And that's how you start that communication, that dialogue, which is key, foundational key in that relationship, right? So, to my ladies out there, I see you. I know how hard it is to put yourself in that vulnerable space, and having done everything for so long. But I promise you, if you're working on it, that person that's for you is going to see that, and they're going to compliment.
Well, Kimberly, what are 3 things that you think, if a person is going to invest in a matchmaker, that they need to, prior to hiring a matchmaker, have a mental shift about themselves and about the process?
State that question for me again, Miss Christie.
I was saying that what are 3 things that a woman who is interested in hiring a certified matchmaker, that she can prepare herself for the process and just taking away the stigma for herself? What are 3 things that she can do to prep for that?
Well, the first thing that she can do is she can let herself be okay. Just because you are alone does not make you lonely, right? So she can be okay whether or not she finds someone or not, being in that space. So, I want her to know that I'm okay either way. I'm doing this for the betterment of myself, but if it doesn't work out, I'm okay either way. And as part of that self-care, that you don't want to necessarily make it come across that you need somebody, right? So when I talked about a moment ago about how women are not allowing, it's tough to put yourself in that position. The flip side of that is that you have women who are, lack of a better word, kind of like clingy, right? So it's kind of like, oh my God, I gotta find somebody. Oh my God, I gotta find somebody. Or I'm pushing this age. I gotta have somebody. I gotta have kids. I gotta do. And that is okay. You don't have to rush that process. What happens when we rush the process? We end up making mistakes. Right?
Whoa.
And the fun part of this whole thing, the fun part of this whole thing is the journey. So I would say, number 1, allow yourself to be okay either way. Number 2, I would say, enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. And number 3, I would say, prepare yourself for success. Mentally prepare yourself for success.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. Those are the 3 things I would definitely.
Kimberly, those are very good. Those are really good. I mean, particularly when you're making a life-altering decision, to allow yourself that space to breathe, that however it comes out, I'm good. I'm going to be good. I'm good now. I'll be good in the process, later. And just all those things, the great advice that you provided, I really, really, really love that. Enjoy the process, and have some fun. Have fun with it all. Okay, now once again, how can people
enjoy the journey?
Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. So once again, Kimberly, your commitment to this birthed out of your own, relationship building that you have with your husband. And I just have to ask, for those who may be watching this, like, well, how, of course, I built into the question is the answer. How can a person who's already married really help a single woman?
Well, listen, someone is going to give you the real deal. if you find someone who's been married, over 10, 15 years, they put in some work into that relationship. And a lot of times people are not prepared to do the work. And relationships, I stated this before, it is really not easy. It's going to be the hardest thing that you do next to relationship. It really is. And when you look at how those generations of grandparents and great grandparents and how they stay together for so long, that comes with time. It doesn't happen in the first 5 years, the first 7 years. And, as a married woman, I'm going to give it to you as real as I possibly can, and letting you know your husband is going to make some mistakes. He's going to he's going to make mistakes. But at the same time, you're going to make mistakes too. You're going to make mistakes. And when you realize that we are two imperfect people, we're two imperfect people, and trying to make a union. I have different experiences, different backgrounds, and I'm bringing this to the table, and my mate is bringing their different experiences to the table, their different background to the table, and now we're creating something together. And so it takes compassion, it takes understanding, it takes empathy, right? And when you get those components and you understand that, and not to mention having God as a foundation in your relationship, once you have those pieces, Miss Christie, let me tell you, it's doable, it's workable, and anything worth having is going to require some work,
I love it. This is powerful. I know that, Black lives matter, Black love matters. And, so, making sure that we take good care of ourselves. I think that this is so important that we, as, Black people on all levels, but Black professionals particularly, because that's what you're servicing, that understand how relationships lead to community building, and that no one man or woman is an island. And this really is an important time in Black history and Black American history that's in the making, that we start focusing again on building strong selves, couples, and communities. So I thank you for your work, for the ripple effect that it will bring. And I thank you for coming again to the Christie Taylor Show, this time on this side. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
You're very welcome. So be sure to follow up with Kimberly McGowan. You can check her out on her personal website, professionalsinglesagency.com. She is a certified matchmaker. And if you are looking to build a strong, long-lasting relationship, you definitely want to reach out to Kimberly McGowan. And thanks again for watching the Christie Taylor Show.